American Horror Story is a series near and dear to many people. A show that no doubt has high highs and lows lower than the Mariana Trench. In this video, I'd like to not only rank its seasons. Wait, no, I'm not doing that. I'd like to not rank its seasons. I'd like to rank the scariest aspect of American Horror Story. I'm going to try and rank each of these opening credits based upon how much I like them, and try not to include any bias based on the season itself. We're ranking only the openings. Bias for the openings is okay, but for the season, try and keep them, the opening and season, separate, right? Okay. So yeah, we're gonna go in chronological order, starting from Murder House all the way to, what was it, the baby season? Delicate, yeah, that's what it's called. And we're gonna do it by using 3 criteria. The criteria going 1 to 5. First criteria, let's think. We're probably going to go with creepiness. Yeah, creepiness for first criteria. Second criteria is relation to the season itself, meaning the relation that the opening has to the season that it's opening for. And 3 is going to be the oomph. The oomph. And that's basically the final deciding factor. How much I like it, pretty much. That's basically my personal bias, how much I like it. The other 2 might be influenced by what the fans think, in general. But 3 is just my final push. Yeah. So, let's start the list. All right, number 1, we have Murder House. The first intro of the series, the first example of what an AHS intro should be. Because it's the first, you're probably thinking I'd put it in S tier. But I am not a D writer. I will go ahead and place it in, let's say high B tier. That seems fair, And let me explain. I'm a big believer in that something can always evolve, just because something came first doesn't mean it's the best iteration of itself. You can make things better over time, and sure, this is basically sets the definition of what an AHS opening should be. Just because it does that doesn't mean it's the best AHS opening. This intro is creepy. It's quiet. More quiet than a lot of the other counterparts that you're going to be seeing, but I think it could do better. But yeah, B is I think is a good place for it. Might move later, I don't know, but it's getting a 5 for creepiness, a 1 for season relation, and a 5 for oomph. Basically my deciding factor. I mean, come on, look at the opening. The fiery babies, that's only one aspect of what Murder House is about. Okay, we can relax. Don't let nostalgia blind you. Now on to season 2, Asylum. Now, Asylum's intro is perfect in every way. It sets the scene of an insane asylum in an incredible manner. It's unnerving, it's flashy, it's dramatic, and it is miserable. The creepiness factor is a solid 5, and in the intro we see nuns who reflect the Catholic themes. We see Shakath, which is an angel from Christianity or one of those religions. She makes an appearance in the season, obviously. We see the corpses being wheeled out of Dr. Arden's laboratory, the zombies or whatever. And honestly, the only thing that's really left out of the opening is what? The aliens and probably Bloody Face, Which, I mean, you're not supposed to show your entire hand in these openings, or at least that's what I think. So I think that's completely fine, You can leave a little something to be desired, which is will be a pleasant surprise when you actually decide to watch the show. Or season, I guess. I'd say that this opening is just enough to draw you into the season, and then you get more, and you're pleasantly surprised, They didn't completely reveal their hand, I guess you could say. 5 for creepiness, 5 for season relationship. Season relationship? Why did I say that again? 5 for creepiness, 5 for season relation, and 5 for oomph. Easy A tier. Alright, let's go ahead and drag it over. Come on. Work with me here. There we go. Alright. Season 3, Coven. A season rated extremely high by many AHS fans. And I gotta say, it's for good reason. Although when the characters start coming to life left and right, coming back after dying, what are the stakes, okay? Coven's opening low key feels like they were setting it up for a different season. Like I don't know, like if you guys want to go stop the video right now and rewatch the Coven intro and then come right back, okay? But in a vacuum, it's the perfect amount of scary. The Salem witch imagery, the voodoo iconography, the fucking freaky demons, whatever that was. But where was that in the actual season? The only quote unquote demon that like showed up in this entire season was Papa Legba. And I mean, shit, he was barely a fucking demon. He was just some dude, right? Uh, the stuff you saw in the intro, I mean, it was like almost implying that it was the witches were demons themselves. I mean, you could take it like figuratively, like, oh my god, the witches were so conniving and backstabbing that they were basically demons. But yeah, none of that ended up like happening in the actual like season. So yeah, it feels slightly misleading. Like I don't want to shit on it at all. But yeah, the season relation there is not there. But mm, we'll give it a 5 for creepiness, 2 for season relation, and 4 for oomph. And I'm going to put it in A tier because on its own it's pretty good opening, but it's just a little far removed from like the actual season's material. And just so you know, like the whole like numerical like values I'm giving each of these, like they don't mean anything. I'm gonna put them where I want to put them at the end of the day. Sorry. All right. Up next we got season 4, Freak Show. It's the freaky season. Now, Freak Show, in my opinion, has the single best intro in the series. I just love the creativity, the score, and the general vibe. It feels off-putting, yet fun and entertaining. And that, my Kamook heads, is exactly what a freak show is about. You're going there to be disturbed because you want to see human beings that were cursed from the second they exited their mother's womb make the very best of their situation. The stop motion freaky ass characters we see in the opening are so bizarre and strange that it makes up for the fact that this opening has absolutely nothing to do with the season itself and is absolutely nothing like the other openings that came before it. Um, on top of that, it's quite frankly not that scary. I mean, it's a little sexual, but definitely not scary. Not to me, at least. I think I'd get high with half the zany, wacky characters that we get to witness in this interesting opening. I love it. 2 for creepiness, 1 for season relation, and 15 for oomph. This one's going straight to S tier, and I just want to let you know that I'm saving S tier for openings that I love. But like not just openings that I love, the openings that actually do something different than like the rest of these, and they can't just do something different. I have to love it, and they do something different. So yeah. Number 5, my favorite location in the series, hotel. Throughout the season of Hotel, our main character is quite literally chasing ghosts. He's tracking down the Ten Commandments killer that seemingly knows our hero, John Lowe, better than he knows himself, all while being tormented by ghosts, guilt, and gaslighting vampires, all of which inhabit the Hotel Cortez. The setting of the Cortez emanates a strong, uncanny feeling. Lowe walks down these halls and talks to people that have a sense of familiarity and longing. He is aware that something's missing, but he just can't grasp it. The hotel is in itself dread. It is alive and it is a prison. The random musical stingers are fucking loud and annoying. The essence of this season is drawn out into Sally's heroin syringe and shot directly into the veins of this ghoulish opening. The unpredictability and misery of the hotel is heavily conveyed through this opening. It connects to the season in every way, whether it be the hints of the Ten Commandment killings, the Nosferatu hooker representing the seductive immortal vampires, or the people trapped in the walls giving us insights into the work of James Patrick March, or the freaky dudes clawing their ways out of the hotel mattresses, giving us a sneak peek on what Sally does in her free time. This moody and loud opening is getting a 5 for creepiness, 5 for season relation, and a 5 for oomph. I would put it, I think it sneaks its way into S tier. Oh, I think it sneaks its way into S tier, honestly. Hotel's opening. Uh, does it really do anything new though? I- Uh, It's peak. It's peak. Yeah, I would say it's low S tier. I kind of want to put in A tier, but we'll hold off. Okay. Now, season 6 is a pretty special case. You see, season 6 doesn't really have a traditional AHS opening. Unlike the other seasons that show us, like, what happens in the story as they unfold, season 6 is a mockumentary, show within a show. That's right. For the first 3 seasons, the audience is watching a TV show made by the characters in the American Horror Story universe. And these characters in the show that we're watching in season 6, like the show within the show, they have no clue what the hell an AHS opening is or is supposed to be. Therefore, they don't know that it's a staple. So this opening of season 6 is actually like the opening of the show within the show, being like a quick 2 second stinger flash of a fucking tree. My Roanoke Nightmares. It is not the season's fault, I guess, and all things considered, it's pretty much on flavor, like that's kind of what it's supposed to be. However, it doesn't change the fact that it's boring, and honestly, they could have given us an opening after the show within the show was over, which happened like around what, season 4, when like we were done watching My Roanoke Nightmares, back to watching American Horror Story. So yeah, opening is honestly straight ass. I want to put it. I would put it in an F tier if there was an F tier. Not, but yeah. My Roanoke Nightmares is not it. Season 7. Stop here and reflect. Every last American Horror Story opening is scarier than the season itself. But holy shit, the gap between the Colts opening and the actual like material in the season is wide. The opening just comes off as ingenuine, like fucking clickbait. It's so far up its own ass, fingers are poking out of its mouth, okay? Um, with the Trump and Hillary stuff and the bees and shit, I know it's supposed to represent a high, and that's what the cult is, but holy, like, damn, dude. I think we get it after all these, like, crazy promos leading up to the season. I mean, the opening is too good for me to put it in C tier. I mean, it's a clear 5 for creepiness. It's spooky as shit. A season relation, we're giving it a 2. I would give it a, and maybe like a 3 for oomph. I think I will put it in B tier. Yeah, B minus. For hyping up a season that was just all right. It, it's a good opening, but it just doesn't relate enough to the season. It just seems like random spooky shit that they thought would go hard. It did, but just doesn't relate. All right. Season 8, The Infinity War of American Horror Story. The Apocalypse opening borrows most from the openings of Coven and Murder House. So does the plot of the actual season, fun enough. This is probably one of the creepiest openings, especially given the extreme satanic imagery, which I feel is extremely distasteful. But yeah, that's kind of spooky, right? The entertaining part is definitely the nuclear Holocaust imagery that we get in the opening. Children creeping into a bomb cellar with a nuclear bomb to their backs, the bomb's mushroom cloud turning into a skull, the snakes summoned by the asshole Antichrist, baby representing the Antichrist in the first place. I kind of just realized why babies was such a strong theme in the season 1 opening. Does that bump it up? But maybe we move it from B to A minus. We'll leave it in B tier. Uh, but yeah, this opening is everything AHS, and the nuclear bombs and explosions and the way they accredit science and magic to the end of man, as well as the candles burning out quickly, representing the time travel we get, which is like a big plot point in season. Um, this gets a 5 for creepiness, 5 for season relationship, and a 4 for oomph. Eh, A tier, A tier. Yeah. All right. On to 1984. Now, this season's opening and the season in general is a literal classic. So campy, so slasher esque, so 80s, dude. Like in the opening, we get these cheesy old graphics and music that immediately tells us exactly what we're going to be watching for the next season. I mean, it really just puts you in the mood of the time period. Like all the corny little, like, 1980s vibes in the opening, okay? Like you could just see it. You could just see it. It was a leap in the right direction. It's really the little things, the clanging of the knife in the sink, the whole thing with like the blood on the screen of the show we're watching. Like we don't even have to see like someone getting killed, which is like what we usually do see in American Horror Story openings. But the summer camp, the breakdancing, the roller skating, Reagan, this was something that HS was missing. Something new and creative. And who knew that we had to go back in time 40 years for something fresh? In any case, this opening shot life into the series, and it should be recognized for doing so. Um, it's not really that creepy, so I'm gonna say like I'm gonna give it a 5. For season relation, it it's not really even like really related to the season unless you want to go in like for the general 80s vibe route. I, I that's too lenient. I'll give it a 3. But for oomph, it's getting a 15, okay? 15 for oomph. 1984, one of the best openings. It did something different, going in S tier. Okay, now this one's going to be a doozy because this is 2 in 1. We have double feature. Double feature, we get 2 openings rather than just the one, but let's start with Red Tide. Now, this might sound kind of crazy. When I first watched this opening, I thought it was pure ass. A very generic AHS opening, extremely similar to Colts, although this is through the fact that it does way too much. However, upon watching the near masterpiece that was Red Tide, I realized that this is the only American Horror Story opening that like manages to pack every last aspect and plot point of the season into its opening. It may even give away too much. You get the black pills, the other drugs, the animal corpses, the vampires, the yearning for meat and blood, the script writing. Okay, we even get the annoying little bitch that plays the violin. There is nothing in season 10 Red Tide that wasn't in its opening. Although when I think about it, this is most likely like due to the fact that it was shortened from 10 episodes as is like a typical AHS season to 6. And yeah, this is because of the fact that double features seasons one. But if you ask me, Red Tide deserved its own season because it kind of shat the bed on its ending. To be fair, endings in general have never been American Horror Story's strong suit, but I mean, who knows if extending it is the right thing to do? Like, maybe they extend it by those 4 episodes and it gets even worse. Like imagine Red Tide with just more filler and the exact same ending. Like come on, I wouldn't put it past Ryan Murphy. In any case, I am at the very least content with what we received, and this opening doesn't really do anything different than the ones that came before it, except that it's like a little bit more modern. Um, I I would put it in the low S tier, but this ranking is a package deal, okay? Like, so right now it will be low S tier, right? Let's move on to the beginning of the end for American Horror Story openings, and let's go on to season 11, uh, Death Valley. Now the Death Valley open, ugh, like one of the first modern AHS openings to use CGI. Now, what they did not do is do it in the charming way that Freak Show did. I mean, utilizing black and white as well as no blood. I mean, this opening is just not for me. I don't like it. This is not objective. This is my opinion. The tentacles flailing around the baby and the random woman. It's just. Ugh. It's not scary. It's just freaky. In nearly every opening prior to this, everything's filmed shoddily and clipped together, and it just feels real because of it. But this opening just has no sense of originality. Okay, besides Freak Show, CGI was only used as a tool to amplify what they had filmed already, rather than just being all that we saw. The UFOs, the goofy ass dude getting abducted, things like that, just it looked fucking silly rather than menacing. First time I saw this opening, I thought that it was actually fan made, and that should say something. I mean, the tentacles are just ridiculous. Like some editors' hentai addiction made it into the final cut. It's getting a 1 for creepiness, a 3 for season relation, and a 0 for oomph. I just don't fucking like it. Look, I don't like it, but a lot of people do, and I'd rather put it in C than D tier. Just because this is not really objective, it's just my opinion. I don't fucking like it. As well as being a whack opening, Death Valley was also like just a shitty season overall. Like, okay, you cannot fit an entire AHS season into 4 episodes. Okay, not a good one at least. Anyone else kind of upset that they never really explained how the cows were cut in half and still alive? Not to mention the modern day plot, which was kind of garbage compared to the one with Miss Eisenhower. Kind of sucks how humanity just fucking loses in the end. I mean, I would have accepted them buying us some goddamn time, but the aliens just pop Eisenhower's head and win. I also hate the general idea of head poppers in media. It's just not cool to immediately win like that. I mean, I guess it's for shock value or something. Yeah, yeah. It's not a struggle. You don't get to just pop someone's head and win, bro. It's not fair. Anyway, that has nothing to do with this video. Let's move on to season 11. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, I'm moving this down to C tier. I would put Red Tide's opening in definitely high A, low S tier. Okay, next we have season 11, the homosexual softcore porn season. This season and its opening is probably the worst flavor of gay out there. I mean, I fuck with Astolfo and Kiana V, but this is just fucking disgusting, bro. I'm sorry. Here, I'll list all the things I hate about NYC and its opening. The leather, the ropes, the literal aids, the gimps, the chains, the ball gabs, the sweaty gay men kissing, the cameras, the whips, the CGI umbrellas. No more CGI! It's just all wrong. AHS has had gay representation, like, since the very first fucking episode. Season, I don't know. I mean, shit, Ryan Murphy's gay himself. But I think for this season of NYC, he may have accidentally mixed up his Friday Night Diaries with the scripts for this season of television. If you want to make a season of television, do whatever you want. Tell your story. But if you want to make a popular season of television, do not cater to the fraction of your fan base that will spend 11 hours watching glistening shirtless men solve crimes and do BDSM on each other. I know this segment has become more of a review of the season rather than the opening, but I dislike the opening for the same reasons I dislike the season. I mean, how the fuck am I supposed to make it through a season where niggas are whipping each other since like 5 minutes into episode 1, bro? Like, I don't know what to do, bro. I do not know what to do. This season was trash. This opening was trash. I want to make F tier just for this. I really do. I don't. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's D with F. F tier. All right. Next, we got season 12, Delicate. Another season I did not fucking watch. Now, okay, I actually think that this intro is pretty good visually. Now, even like despite all of the like CGI and what I've said, like I hate the CGI. I like when they get down and dirty and film like a bunch of clips and clip it together, and it's just creepy, it's scary, it's moody, and this is all that, but they just used CGI. No, it's similar to Freak Show, but actually like disturbing. But the CGI is just too much for me. I can't really get past it. This season's opening was much better than the season itself. I will tell you that much. But I refuse to put it anywhere above B tier as the CGI is just too much, and I cannot, in good faith, put it on the same level as season 1 and Cult. So it's going in C tier. Now the season itself is obviously complete dog shit. But its opening, come on, you got to give it credit with like the fucking bleeding bellies and all that shit. It's creepy. It's definitely. And for that, I think that yeah, this is my list. This is my list. Do I want to move anything around? I think S tier should be a little bit more exclusive. But Hotel really did start like the increased creativity in these things. I'd say. I mean, if you ignore Roanoke, holy shit. But not even right. Hotel didn't really start. Like the end after Hotel. What was it? Probably like Apocalypse. Yeah. Yeah. For that reason, hmm, the Ten Commandments were in the. Yeah. Hotel does something different. We'll leave it in S tier. This is the final list. Okay. Final American Horror Story list of openings and like where I rank them, and I'm satisfied with it. Honestly, I think I won't move anything around. I wish that the guy made double feature two different fucking like segments so I could put one in A tier and the other in like F, but no, he didn't. So it's going the best place I could fucking compromise it. Um, yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you for watching. And stay scheming or keep dreaming.
We all know that we live in him and he in us because he has given us of his spirit. 1 John chapter 4 verse 13. Titus chapter 1 verse 15. To all the pure all things are pure, but to those who are corrupted and do not believe nothing is pure. In fact, both their minds and consciences are corrupted.